your camera in the trunk or the other bag there?
It's empty.
Oh, because it's there, okay.
The camera is in my hand.
Take a picture of him, you can take a picture of you.
The corporators or someone, I mean, how does it operate? Like the body of operation. For us, we call it MLA.
Yeah.
He's like a member of Legislative Assembly.
Yeah, so we have senators and House members.
Okay.
So there's, we believe a lot in American checks and balances. It's worked very well for us. So you have checks and balances between the central government and the state government. You have checks and balances between the multiple branches, the executive branch, the legislative branch. Here, the way our state is set up, and not all states are set up the same way, we have a senior legislative branch called the Senate, and we have a junior legislative branch called the House. So it's two different bodies. They vote on different bills, but for a bill to become a state bill, it has to be sent to the other body, and they also have to vote on it. So and there are fewer senators than there are House members. So, and they also are elected on different terms. So every House member is reelected every 2 years. Well, I don't know Texas for sure. Let me go up to the national, right? At the national level, every congressman is elected for 2 years. Every senator is elected for 6 years. So what you get is in terms of checks and balances, in terms of turnover. You don't reset your whole government every 2 years. You bring new blood in, but you still have some continuity from the previous government. And what that means is change tends to occur over time rather than immediately. Right? So even if, let's say America has radically changed in the last 2 years, you elected a Congress, all new Congress people. You didn't like the previous ones. It doesn't happen that way, but let's assume that. You'd still have 2/3 of your Senate being people that were elected 4 years ago or 6 years ago, and therefore those new members couldn't do anything successfully without convincing the 2/3 of the Senate that were here longer. So it doesn't really work that way in practice, because what takes over in practice is political arms, Democrats, Republicans. Americans more so now are tending to vote out incumbents, but incumbents always have an advantage, both from a name and a fundraising perspective. So typically, 80% of your
vote is not there, then immediately
There's something called as
government
vote of
will collapse and
confidence.
re-election will happen.
That is one of the real differences between America and other countries. Countries that have a prime minister.
Yes.
The prime minister basically rules based on the confidence of the legislature in.
Yep.
So America, you do get some dysfunctional time periods where the president maybe isn't supported by the Congress, but that's a positive thing from our perspective. We don't want the president to go off and do what he wants. We want him to have to negotiate with other people, and the idealistic, answer be created, rather than somebody being empowered to go spend money without any checks and balances.
So the president has a complete power on everything. There you go, done.
Your state legislature resides. You see buildings like this, that state office building there. There's a whole lot of bureaucrats that go running any state or running any country as well, right? And since Austin's the capital of Texas, all of our bureaucrats are going to be housed here in various office buildings. And that building will connect to that building underground. You're actually standing over a building right now, if you notice. It's got ice. This is actually underground office space that you're standing over right now. You will normally play something like 2/3 of your games, 6 or 7 games at home, 8 games and sometimes, but more often 7, and 5 games on the road. And the reason you can do that is because you play smaller schools, and those smaller schools, you're paying them actually to come to your stadium and play. I want to go down this 6th so we can go a little more straight. So You can qualify for a 13th and 14th game, but that's only if you're good. The 13th game is if free speech in action, protest. The 13th game is if you qualify for your conference's championship game. You can play in that, so it would only be 2 teams per conference. The 14th game is a bowl game. You can go to a bowl game without going to a conference championship game. So the bowl games are kind of like celebration games. Yeah. They're all around the December New Year's holiday. So this is 6th Street. It's going to run east-west here. Basically, it's going to be the main kind of party area of town in terms of restaurants and bars and that type of stuff. So all the students will be down here at Seafood.
Okay.
They were probably just left about 3 hours ago. Austin's known for its the physical overhead. Like each one of these buildings, you either own it or you have to pay rent, right? Yeah. When you're just working out of a truck like that, the truck probably costs $100,000. The building probably costs $2 million.
Oh my God. $2 million?
Yeah. And now we're starting to leave the kind of party area of town, coming back over to the kind of corporate area of town as well.
So the party area of town and corporate are like next to next.
Yep. When you get up to the street,
Cheese. Is this JP Morgan Chase? Chase, yeah, this one is JP Morgan. Yeah.
it's Chase. Chase is the name of the bank. JP Morgan. I'm not sure if they're actually the same company anymore. I think they're different companies now.
Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan.
Yeah. So the JP Morgan is more of an investment arm. Chase is the bank. I'm not sure that JP Morgan used to own Chase. I'm not sure they do right now.
I think JP Morgan was not owning Chase anytime. Like I guess he was holding Chase, right? I mean JP Morgan was holding Chase. Because in India we have a bank that stays JP Morgan Chase.
Then the two might still be associated. I don't know. The other possibility is it's not associated at all.
Generally when to invest in Chase, I never knew that. Like Arthur J. Gallagher. That is one of the biggest stakeholders on Chase. I was never aware of it. Then I started googling it.
There's a restaurant down here I'm heading to now. So. I think they're open on Saturdays. For sure.
So the weekdays it's like full. You have traffic jams over here, or it's like every time more like this traffic?
It's probably about this most of the time. It probably will be worse, later on this evening.
So, this is where Kanye West is staying, right?
Where who's staying?
Pop singer.
Oh, Kanye West?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think Tobias told me.
So that's actually both the corporate headquarters and an actual store.
And is that expensive, like skydiving?
It was just under $100, something like that when I did. Wasn't bad at all.
The 2013 North American Car of the Year. Every new 2013 Cadillac comes with premium
here at all, so I can't
4
find a
years,
spot.
50,000 mile limited warranty. Right now is the best time to buy a new Cadillac. Come see us at 183 in Duval. Covert Cadillac, where we make luxury affordable. CovertCadillac.com. 0% APR available with approved credit through Cadillac. Offer ends September 30th.
I'm Professor Burt from Farmers Insurance, and this is 30 Seconds of Smart. So you want discounts on your home insurance. Upgrade your roof. Upgrade your plumbing. Get a burglar alarm. Get a fire alarm.
Pizzeria, we can do that. Anju, if we go back to that pizzeria we ate at the first time that we were here, is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
So that street is one way this way.
Mm-hmm.
This street is one way that way. The other option, I guess, is to go somewhere over on 5th Street. East here. Which road? I have to turn left here. That way. For light. I think it's light, so worst case scenario, I'll screw up. Do it all over again. Yep, that's it. I'd love to do more, but we're traveling for work purposes. And I started thinking ahead. I'll probably come out to Asia, 1 week this coming year.
Let's do the right.
Oh, here, right side.
Yes. In India, it's always to the left. And
So you have hiking, biking, etc. Walking will be big stuff down here. Austin, part of keeping Austin weird is probably a little bit more, where you exercise and kayak and boat and that type of stuff.
So here it's almost like exercise and jogging area.
Yeah, it's basically a jogging area, as you can see by everybody going around.
Yeah.